What up? What up? What up? How's it going, everybody? I'm Ari Temkin, live at the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas. Post-practice stream right here on Phantom, the New World Order of Sports Media. Still some folks here hoping, I guess, get some last-minute autographs, but we'll begin here in a moment. Just want to make sure that we're rocking and rolling the way we need to be. So what do you guys want to know about the Dallas Cowboys? As they just finished their Tuesday practice right here at the Star. They're going to be off tomorrow. They're going to practice again Thursday and Friday and Saturday in advance of their game on Sunday. All right, let's see. G. Garcia in the house, watching on Phantom. What's going on, G. Garcia? How are you? Let's see. Let me just share this thing. How about them? Cowboys. How about them? All right, let's see. What do we got going on? What do you guys want to know? Broadcasting live across multiple channels, multiple pages. Phantom is the New World Order of Sports Media. We are delivering live content, live sports content to the digital space. All right. Where's everybody watching right now? Where is everybody hanging out right now? Nobody's commenting? What do you guys want to know? I'm just sitting here without anything to do, just waiting for whatever everybody wants to talk about. Eric says lost video. Is that true, Eric? Eric Kashani? The video's not up? I see the video. Video looks fine on my screen. Joseph Ahamuda says, what's up? What's our safety situation looking like? Not great. They signed Jerron Johnson, who was working out with the team today. Also, Dominic Sanders was signed yesterday. He was working out with the team. You know, I mean, at this point, their depth chart has Jeff Heath and Kayvon Frazier, Tyree Robinson, and Cam Kelly. It leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not entirely sure, what to think of it. But, yeah, I mean, certainly you look at the depth chart at safety, and it's problematic. And it's, the thing is, it's problematic now from a standpoint of, bodies. But it was always problematic. I mean, at the start of camp, it was problematic. So, let's see here. G. Garcia says, by the way, the video feed is working on your end, yes? Is it freezing or what's going on with it? Is everything's cooking fine? We're cooking with Crisco here. I'm Ari Temkin from 105.3 The Fan. I'm the host of the Dallas Cowboys pre- and post-game show along the Dallas Cowboys radio network. Thank you for being a part of tonight's stream as I'm broadcasting live from the Ford Center behind me here at the Star in Frisco, a wonderful complex where the Cowboys are practicing now with the final week of training camp, if you will, before they gear up for the regular season. Sean Moore in the house. Sean, how are you, buddy? Isaac Bodu says, is it true that Dak won't play anymore this preseason? I'm not sure. I haven't heard that. I certainly think, Jerry Jones was on 105 through the Fan with Sean and RJ this morning, and I think he mentioned that he doesn't want to see any more of Dak, and he doesn't want to see Zeke at all this preseason. But I don't think we've. Jackie Wingo, how are you, Jackie? Woohoo, go Ari. Jackie, how are you? Yeah, but I mean, I don't know that we've heard any word on whether or not Dak's going to play in week number 3 of the preseason. It's interesting because the Cowboys now yesterday and today practiced without pads, which is I don't know what their regular season practice schedule looks like, and if they traditionally practice without pads, 2 days a week during the regular season or what that is, but. So maybe that is sort of they're taking it easy kind of approach. I don't know. Look, I think again it's too bad that the is this lagging badly. Is that what's going on? Somebody give me an update in the comments if you wouldn't mind. And tell me if this is lagging badly because it looks like it's working fine on my end. But if there's issues that I've got with the stream, I'd like to get them figured out before I move forward in a big way. So somebody tell me in the comments if this is not holding up strong. I have plugged into the Ethernet, so figured that would be a good approach. Let's see. Anybody in the comments hit me up? Let me check out YouTube, see what's going on YouTube. Looks fine. Dem Boy says looks fine. Helen Newman says looks good. Sounds good. All right, thanks everybody for watching across the Law Nation 2.0 page. A reminder, check out our YouTube page at Phantom. Make sure to subscribe to the page if you haven't already. The new safety practice, yes, Deron Johnson practiced. Dominic Sanders yesterday was the new. They've signed 2 new safeties for the last couple of days. They both, Dominic Sanders yesterday, Deron Johnson today. It's funny because yesterday we're talking about the elusive number 29. That every number 1 through 99 was taken by the Cowboys by somebody, unless it's like 82 or 12 or 22 or 88. But 29 is taken by Deron Johnson. So 29 was the only one that had not been taken, and out of 1 through 99. And so Deron Johnson, they gave him 29. So maybe they were holding out on Earl Thomas for 29, and then they figured out that they weren't going to get him, so they decided to just give Deron Johnson 29. David Short on the Law Nation 2.0 page says one of the Cowboys going to go for it. I think they're close to being Super Bowl contenders, but they keep shopping at the dollar store for free agents. Yeah, David, I think well said. The Cowboys in the early 2000s were the opposite. They overspent. They had bad contracts. They were locked in salary cap hell. So they were not in a good position. And in the last decade, they've overcorrected, and now they don't, seemingly they don't spend any money in free agency. And the last time they did was Brandon Carr, and again, it's almost as if they use some of these examples in recent history to suggest why they shouldn't continue to do that. But the bottom line is they do continue to shop at the bargain bin. They've been successful at it. They have turned bargain bin players into pretty good contributors for this franchise. So it's not as if it's been a completely, bad approach. Now, I would agree with David in a sense of at some point you got to go for it. At some point you've got to make a move that puts you over the top, because you look at teams that win championships, and yeah, they are, for the most part, their core of their team was built through the draft. But, they do bring in and infuse new players through free agency. That's look at all the Super Bowl champs. They're going to have a few players that were brought in through free agency to shore polls. The reality is you need the bulk of your roster to be through the draft. That's because you've got guys on cheap contracts that that you have control over for X amount of time. So, when you have to continually sign players in free agency, you're going to be behind the 8 ball when it comes to having salary cap space to lock up the guys that do end up hitting in the draft. The Cowboys are completely committed to the core players they've drafted in the draft and have made, at least since Brandon Carr, basically, no concerted effort to drastically improve their roster, overhaul their roster by signing a free agent, or in this case, making a trade for Earl Thomas. At this point, though, when it comes to Earl Thomas, I'm not entirely certain that if it's the fault of the Cowboys at this point, or if it's for some other reasons. Like if it's that the Cowboys don't want to give up a second, or if it's that Seattle is just completely unwilling to entertain any discussions with the Cowboys, I think that there's certainly some questions about why it's being held up at this point. All right, on the Dallas Cowboys America's team page, people are saying the video looks good, so I'll just continue to proceed. But hit the share button if you wouldn't mind. If you're watching this on Facebook, please hit the share button, especially if I answer your question. That'd be great. Also, if you're watching across YouTube on Law Nation's 2.0 page, make sure to go over to our Phantom page on YouTube and hit the subscribe button over there as well. Rich Porter says, why do we pick up a safety who ain't playing 2 years instead of Earl Thomas? Well, because, Rich, I mean, it's a good point. I'm just not sure that Earl Thomas is available. And, either the Cowboys are firm on their asking price, or Seattle is completely unwilling to trade him to Dallas. I also think, the notion of a team, a negotiator like Jerry Jones going back to Seattle and being like, in a point of with a complete lack of leverage, going back to him with like your hat in your hands, like, please make a deal with us. Like, that's just not Jerry's style. So, again, I think if Seattle says give us a second and we'll give you Earl Thomas today, I'm making the move. I don't know if it's that easy at this point. I think this situation's been through some roller coasters. We know that the Cowboys offered the second pick in this past draft. That they earmarked that second round pick for Earl Thomas. Instead, they used it to draft Connor Williams. So I don't know if at this point it's being held up by the Cowboys not wanting to give up a second, or if Seattle at this point is just saying no to anything. Wayne Markley says, hey, bro. Wayne, how are you? Rodrigo Lopez says the season record is Dak the man. My prediction, Rodrigo, is 10-6, and yes, Dak is the man. We could have gotten Ed Reed. I don't believe so. Ed Reed retired. I think you're talking about Eric Reed, and we've been through this before. Eric Reed is not going to be signing with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even know if he's going to play in the NFL this year. Jackie Morrison says make or break year for Dak or Garrett. I'd say for both. I'm more confident in Dak's ability to have a quality year, but the truth is if Dak has a good year, then Garrett probably will too. But I'm of the belief, despite what Jerry said during the beginning of training camp, if the Cowboys don't make the playoffs, there's no way that Jason Garrett comes back. Antonio Golden says hello. Let's see what else is going on. A lot of thumbs up there, so it sounds good to me. Tim Mariano says this team's a pretender every year. A couple of years ago, they were contenders. Vicky Nuanez gives me the hard eyes emoji. Hard eyes emoji, Vicky. To you as well. Robert Preston Fowler says defense wins Super Bowls. Not in recent history. You look at recent Super Bowl champs, and top 5 offenses win Super Bowls, with the one exception being the Denver Broncos, with a top 5 defense, actually a historically great defense. So, I mean, look, I think the old adage defense wins championships is not necessarily true in the NFL. I think the truth of the matter is you have to have a top 5 offense and an adequate defense. I think the two metrics that are important that define successful Super Bowl contending defensive units is sacks and, getting off the field on third down. Those are the two, in my opinion, big ones. Travis Kanibi gives me the laughing emojis. Why? What did I say? Let's see here. David Wayne says they need Jimmy Johnson for GM and Jerry keep his comments to himself. That's not going to happen. As far as keeping his comments to himself or Jimmy Johnson being the general manager. Neither of those things are ever going to happen. So you can either give up on being a Cowboy fan or just admit that Jerry's not going to keep his thoughts to himself and that Jimmy Johnson's not coming back. Anyway. David Wayne also says, let's talk about Showboat Jerry. As long as he's making money, he don't care if he wins Super Bowls. And then he says, answer my question, please. What was your question? What's your question, David? I've said this before about Jerry. I'll continue to say it. The autonomous Jerry wielding all the power, that's gone. That's not the Cowboys anymore. Will McClay, who's the director of player personnel, has had multiple overtures to interview for GM jobs throughout the NFL. He's not once even interviewed for jobs. That should give you a pretty good indication of the type of power that a guy like Will McClay has, right? Like make no mistake, there's no amount of money that Jerry can pay Will McClay that will supersede the amount of power that he wants to have in making decisions and being an important decision maker in the organization. Will McClay matters in the decision-making. Stephen Jones matters in the decision-making. Jason Garrett matters in the decision-making. Jerry matters in the decision-making. Everybody makes this is part of the decision-making process for everything. Jerry Jones is not just sitting there on his iron throne making all these decisions without listening to anybody. And the notion that he is unwilling to entertain people that have dissension from him, it's just wrong. He likes to have people that are willingly going to disagree with him. I don't know if that was always the case of the Cowboys. I do know certainly within the last decade that is the case of the Cowboys. Vicky Nuanez says, love Dallas Cowboys. Go Boys. Have a wonderful season. Same to you, Vicky. Thank you for checking out the stream. I'm Ari Temkin, by the way, from 105 through the Fan. You can catch me on the Dallas Cowboys pre- and post-game shows across the Dallas Cowboys radio network. And right now I'm streaming to you live on Phantom from the Star, beautiful complex behind me here in Frisco. Let's see here. Chris Terrell says, I truly believe they really need to open up their offense, and the defense needs to improve from last year. I think when you say open up their offense, maybe make it look different. I interviewed Lance Lenore on the field after tonight's practice and sort of asked, does this offense look different? And he kind of waited for a moment and searched for the right answer. The answer to that question is yes, this offense is different. But the fundamental principles of it, the zone read, the read option, the Dak, the importance of the offensive line, the importance of Zeke, the importance of Dak in the running game, those are all there, but the passing game is going to be vastly different. The passing game is going to be vastly different this year because they've got a lot of different receivers that are all running at the X, at the Y, at the F, at the Z, which is the Y is the slot, the F is the flanker, the X is the outside strong side, and the Y is the weak side outside receiver. So, they've, Lance Lenore, I was talking with him again, but I've talked to Sanjay Lal, the receivers coach, and other receivers. It's interchangeable. Everybody's playing all different, all across the formation. So, they're going to be multiple. They're going to have a lot of different guys that can do a lot of different things. So, people that are searching for this offense to be creative, I think this is the year we're going to see some more creativity from them. And if they don't, they're not going to be very successful this year. And then Jason Garrett's going to be looking for a new job. Ryan Volger says, do you think Gathers will be a working part of this offense? I do not. Johnny Thomas says, what's up with Gathers number 80? Thank you for telling me his number. Rico Gathers, the curious case of Rico Gathers. Does anybody want to tell the other people that are anybody trying to figure out what's going on with Rico? Rico Gathers makes plays. He's productive in the passing game. He has no understanding of fundamentals in offense, and he can't block. That's what we've been told. That's what's out there. That's why he's continues to be basically third or fourth string. Again, you turn on the game, you see him making a big play. You think, why isn't this guy running with the first team? Why won't he make this team? And I think the answer to that question is, it's not like Jason Garrett wants to keep his job. It's a fair point, right? He wants to stay the Dallas Cowboys head coach. So if Rico Gathers could help him, be a better player, help improve their offense, then he'd be playing. Jason Garrett's not sabotaging his organization and the offense for what reason? He wants to still be the head coach of the Cowboys. So the reason that Rico Gathers isn't going to make this team, in my opinion, which I know people are like, oh, what are you talking about? He's definitely going to make this team. I just don't agree with that. They're not going to keep four tight ends, and at this point, I think Dalton Schultz is ahead of him. Should he be? I don't think so. I don't think Dalton Schultz should be ahead of him. But they took him in the draft, and perhaps they will be willing to release a player they just drafted 6 months ago or whatever it was. I find that hard to believe, though. All right, on the Law Nation 2.0 page, let's see here. Helen Newman says, McClay is our GM. Well, technically, Jerry Jones is the GM, and technically Stevens basically second in command, which would then make Will McClay the director of player personnel, or I think he's director of pro scouting. And then Will McClay his title is the director of pro scouting, and then Stevens is VP of player personnel. Whatever it is, they're all part of the decision-making process, which, again, gives you a pretty good indication of how much power Will McClay has, how much power Stephen Jones has, how much power Jason has. They all have a lot of power in the decision-making that goes on here. MCF, My Cowboy Family. What's going on, My Cowboy Family? I was just checking out some of your streams, actually, on YouTube. So keep up the good work. It's fantastic stuff. I like My Cowboy Family. Good stuff. My Cowboys Family says, Woods' injury scares me. It should. But again, I was of the belief that the Cowboys had issues at safety prior to any of these injuries. I mean, I was worried about Xavier Woods being a first-time starting free safety in the National Football League. And, I think the Cowboys looked at this and said, look, if we could trade for Earl Thomas right now, we'd love to. But worst case scenario, we could sign him next offseason and not lose any draft picks in doing so. And, I think they looked at Xavier Woods as being the perfect, bridge guy. Either he steps in this year, he has a good year, and now they don't need Earl Thomas, or, that he gets them through this year, and then they can get Earl Thomas this offseason. And he says, my Cowboys family says hammy lingers. Yeah, no, and that's, it's him with the hamstring. It's Tavon Austin with the groin, or he's got a hammy. It's Cole Beasley. Now, Cole Beasley was out there practicing tonight, and it's funny because, he didn't play in the first preseason game. I don't know that he practiced much after that in Oxnard, but then he didn't play in the second preseason game, and we didn't see him on Monday's practice, but he was out there today practicing, so that's a good sign. But, there's a lot of soft tissue injuries here that linger, and that's the nature of it. These soft tissue injuries aren't black and white. It's not like you sit out this amount of time and you come back and you're fine. The thing is, those kinds of things can linger, so they are very problematic. My Cowboys family says, do you think we lost chances with Boston and Vaccaro? Yeah, absolutely. Especially Trey Boston. I think Vaccaro is more of a strong safety. The Cowboys don't have a need at strong safety. That's the problem. They have a need for center field. They have a need at legitimate free safety. Kayvon Frazier's been having a great camp. Jeff Heath is having a great camp. He played really well in preseason game number 2. I know a lot of Cowboy fans are anti-Jeff Heath, but truth is he's improved every year. He's one of their better players, especially when you look at the safety. So they've got him and Frazier are pretty good strong safeties. That's a decent tandem. It's what they have at free safety. That's the problem. Frazier had his knee drained in the 49ers game. Yeah, exactly. Eric Reed would have been nice, but JJ Stance in the anthem, shake my head. Yeah, but it's not even just Jerry. He's unsigned. Eric Reed's a pretty good player, but nobody's signing him. So Jerry's got that hard line stance on the anthem, but nobody's signing Eric Reed at this point. By the way, I'm Ari Temkin, broadcasting live on Phantom. We are the new world order of sports media. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. If you're watching this on the Law Nation YouTube page, make sure to go over to the Phantom page, subscribe over there. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, hit the share button, post your comments, and I'll try to get to as many as I can. We're broadcasting live on Phantom on Facebook, as well as the Dallas Cowboys Report page, Dallas Cowboys America's Team page, Law Nation, Silver and Blue Nation, Dallas Cowboys Fans Club, fans with a Z. So make sure to check out all those great pages as we broadcast live with all those partners of ours across the Phantom platform, Phantom Network. Phantom is bringing live sports content and live sports to you, the digital spaces where you are, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, and, of course, on Facebook. All right, let me check back in on the Dallas Cowboys America's Team page. Let's see what's everybody saying over there. Ryan Volger says, all right, my bad, bro. We won't ask about Gathers again. That's not going to happen. Let's see what else we got. Francisco Acevedo says hello. Cody Wallace says, I think this year might be different for Dak in a good way. Defensive formations are coming to him. Naturally now, all in all, if the O-line and Zeke stay healthy, as well as Sean Lee, I think we'll be fine. Look, Cody, I've said this all offseason. The reason I picked them to win 10 games is because if their offensive line is healthy and Zeke Elliott is healthy, then that's good enough to be top 5. In the Dak Prescott era, when Tyron Smith is in the lineup and Zeke Elliott's in the lineup, and I guess that also means Travis Frederick and Zach Martin too, they're a top 5 offense. So, take that to mean whatever it is you want, but yeah, that's pretty good, pretty productive offense that's going to win 10 or 11 games. But now you say, if Tyron Smith's healthy because you're worried about the back, but now we've got the stinger issue with Travis Frederick, who is apparently seeking a second, even third opinion on his neck, which is very problematic, obviously. And then there's the Zach Martin issue, which is, look, he looks to have avoided serious damage with that bone bruise in his knee, but that's an issue that's another injury that can linger as well. Lyndon Johnston, wow, close to being LBJ, but the Johnston makes him not LBJ. Lyndon, what's your middle name, Lyndon? Is it B? Is your middle name B? Is your middle name Baines? Lyndon Johnston. Slot receivers are trendy and effective. Zeke is our home run hitter, while Dak can nickel and dime them until it's time to go vertical to keep their D-backs honest. I don't think slot receivers are trendy. I mean, you've always had Y receivers. You've always had guys on the inside. Maybe, the type of slot receivers that exist in the modern NFL are more trendy. But, yeah, I mean, look, people that have classified Dak as a bus driver, that's okay going into year 3. It's not okay going into year 10. So, yeah, I mean, when I was able to catch up with Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, during training camp, not today, but when I was in Oxnard for a week, they want the death of 1,000 paper cuts. They want long, sustained drives that eat clock. That was how they were successful a couple of years ago. They've got the running back and the horses to do that. So it's probably Allen is his middle name, close to B. You probably get that all the time, by the way, Lyndon. So I apologize for being like the 1,000th person to say that to you. Nick Cates says Parcells on the verge of cutting Romo until he let Romo play a whole preseason game. Sometimes you got to throw someone in the deep end. Parcells on the verge of cutting Romo until what's his name got cut with Quincy Carter got caught with a weed. If Quincy Carter doesn't get caught with weed, Romo does probably get cut. Think about that. Ryan Volger says, hey, man, if Jason Garrett and Stephen Jones wanted Earl Thomas, they'd go get Earl Thomas. They're not trying to sabotage anything here. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Did I say they were? I mean, I think, look, I don't know what I think. I'm not entirely sure of anything at this point when it comes to Earl Thomas, but I do think that there might be some on the part of Seattle, like, we're just not going to be willing to listen to any offers. That could be part of it. All right, let's see what's going on the Law Nation Facebook page. Ian Goldberg says, what's up, go Cowboys? Ian, what's going on? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Kevin Melton says, going to be a long bus ride then? I don't get it. What do you mean it's going to be a long bus ride then? What did I miss? I feel like I hate when I'm inside of jokes. Whoops, it's gone dark on me again. I think I just have to move. That might set them off again. Hold on one second. Bear with me. There we go. Yeah. This happened to me yesterday too. The lights are automated due to movement. Going to be a long bus ride then. What does that mean? Ted Mitchell says fine here. Ted Mitchell says, yep, have your tickets ready. I feel like I don't know what's going on there. Also, they want to know how Jerron looks. Promising? No, I mean, guys, there's 32 teams with 90 players. 90 roster spots in training camp. 32 teams. So guys that are getting signed now aren't making this roster. And if they do, Cowboys have big issues. Now, they do have big issues at safety. But look, at this point, these are camp bodies that maybe they shock the world. But, I mean, these are beyond lottery ticket odds that these guys actually do anything. I mean, I think there's a level of excitement, but the guys like Cam Kelly and Tyree Robinson are the guys you should be like. Are those guys impressing? Because those are the guys that have been in camp the entire time. Those are the undrafted free agents that the Cowboys brought in immediately. There's 90 players on a roster on 32 teams. These guys, if these guys are getting signed now because they're not on a team, that doesn't bode well for their ability as players. I'm sorry if I'm being harsh, but that's the reality of it. I'm Ari Temkin for 105.3 The Fan. Hit the share button if you're watching this on Facebook. Trying to just kind of scroll through all the different pages that we're broadcasting live on. It doesn't aggregate all the comments into one place, so I'm just kind of hunting and searching for all the comments. Ian Goldberg also give me the thumbs up on another page. Ian, how are you? Jessica Haggerty is in the house. Hello, everything. Jessica, how are you? Glenn Justice gives me the hard eyes. Hard eyes, Glenn Justice. John and Meg say anything or anyone stand out during 7-on-7 drills. Lance Lenore, he continues to spark and make plays. He made a couple of nice plays in the passing game. That's such an interesting roster battle going on with Lance Lenore. And I've said this throughout. They're making it really difficult for Lance Lenore's making it very difficult for the Cowboys either to keep 7 receivers or cut Deontay Thompson. But, I mean, Cole Beasley, Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, Michael Gallup, and the 5th is Terrence Williams. Those 5 are going to make this roster. Shocking, shocking, shocking. So if they keep 6, you basically have 1 roster spot for Noah Brown, Lance Lenore and Deontay Thompson. Well, the way Lance Lenore's been playing in camp, the way he played in the preseason, they're not going to cut him. So either it comes down to they cut Deontay Thompson and cut Noah Brown, or they keep 7 and then end up cutting Noah Brown. Whatever the case might be, Lance Lenore continues to be very impressive in camp. He made just a tremendous catch down the field today in 7-on-7s. Yeah, I believe 7-on-7s. Yes. Cheeto made a really nice interception. I don't know if he stayed in bounds for it, but he had a diving interception. Cheeto Bay Ozie, I tried to get him to do an interview with me after he said he did go do treatment. I don't know. He's been very elusive. You think a guy having such a good camp. Like yesterday I was trying to get him and he ran off to another side, and then today he basically blew me off. I'm not happy with Cheeto. I'm not happy with Cheeto. But anyways, he told me he had to get treatment. So I was like, for what? Big Game James in the house. What up, Big Game James? Thomas Barron. Is it Barron or Barone? Wants to know if I can see your comment. I can. Is it Barone? Thomas also want to know about Earl Thomas. Does somebody want to fill in Thomas about Earl Thomas, or should I be the one to address Earl Thomas again for the millionth time? Earl Thomas and Rico Gathers are the common threads on these streams that I do. G. Garcia says, I'm back. What did I miss on the Phantom page? Sean Moore says, unless Lance Lenore gets hurt, I really believe he's going to make the team. I'd be shocked if he didn't. First of all, he's a Will McClay special guy. Like he's the guy that Will McClay loved coming out of Western Illinois. Will McClay talked lovingly about this guy. He didn't make the team last year, but was close and was on the practice squad. He did everything right this offseason to make this team. He's put in the work. He's flashing, making big time plays in training camp practices. I don't know how they keep him off this team unless they just really want to keep Deontay Thompson on this team, or if they keep 7. Which is, if they want to keep Deontay, that's what they're going to have to end up doing. By the way, I caught up with Lance Lenore after practice today. If you want to hear that interview, it will be on this week's edition of the Cowboys Beat with myself. So make sure to check it out. But if you're watching this on Facebook, then make sure to friend me on Facebook, and the Cowboys Beat will find you. But in case you'd like, go to iTunes or Stitcher or Podbean, wherever you listen to podcasts, and go subscribe to the Cowboys Beat. It's my podcast. So Lance Lenore will be my guest this week. And also, while you're there, if you wouldn't mind going and giving me a review on the podcast, that really helps as well. Let's see here. Eric Kashani says, no, don't waste the airtime on him. Tell us about practice. You're talking about don't waste any airtime on Gathers or on Earl Thomas. Okay, I won't. Eric also says we won't have big issues at any position after this weekend because we'll be bargain bin after cuts. We are the team that takes the losers. Well, it won't be after this weekend. It'll be after the following weekend. It'll be after Thursday's preseason finale against the Houston Texans. Because if you remember, a couple of years ago, it used to be they do cuts. I think it was like 90 to 70 something, and then 70 something to 53. Now it's just 90 to 53 after the preseason ends. So. I wouldn't be surprised if, because the Cowboys are still looking for their starting free safety week 1, now that we know that Xavier Woods is not going to be in that game. So, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys starting free safety isn't here yet. Isn't with this team yet. No, it's band practice now. That's awesome. I'm here late enough that the band is practicing. What band, you might ask? I have no idea. Probably part of the Frisco ISD. Augustine Lopez says, how's Leighton looking? I don't know. He's not practicing. He's injured. And I believe today, Jason Garrett said he's not sure that he'll be available for the opener against Carolina. So kind of disappointing, I'd say, to a certain degree. But remember, the emergence of Jalen Smith has made the disappointment of their 16th overall pick, Leighton Vander Esch, sort of dissipate a little bit, because Jalen Smith is really showing out in a big way. Charlie Carter gives me the thumbs up. Thumbs up. Aaron Thompson says, Zach Martin, he alive and well, or did his knee actually kill him? No, he's alive and well. I saw him yesterday practice. I did not see him today. I don't know if he was out there, but yesterday I took a video of him, and you could see it. I posted it on my Twitter account, @ReSports. He was walking and moving okay, clearly had a limp. So it is what it is. It's a bone bruise, right? And the thing is, he's not going to do much activity until the season starts, and he'll play. But the question is, will it hold up? That's the big question. Let's see here. What is everybody else saying on the? I'm going back now to YouTube. Let's see here. Alex23 says, by the way, what up, Cowboy Nation? What up, Alex23? He struggles in space. Remember Leonard Davis? He was a guard in college, moved to tackle in Arizona. Who are you talking about? Who struggles in space? Alex23. We take a flyer and move to guard, and he did pretty good for us. Yeah, that is true about Leonard Davis. David Short, I just don't believe in Green at any position at this point. I just want him gone. Oh, you're talking about Chaz Green, Alex23? Yeah, he's not going to make this team. I'd be very surprised if he did. Alex23 says, yeah, I'm done with him also, but knowing Garrett, you're going to keep him anyway. Gosh, I hope not. No, I don't think Chaz Green makes this team. I think the offensive line you're looking at is, the 5 starters plus Joe Looney plus Fleming plus maybe Kadeem Edwards. If they keep 8. They're going to keep 8. Sorry. If they keep 9, Kadeem Edwards, and then potentially somebody else that they sign once cutdowns happen. But if they only keep 8, then it won't be Kadeem Edwards, and it'll probably be somebody else that they sign once cutdowns happen. But I don't think. I don't think. Can you guys hear me all right with the drumming? Probably. Yeah. Chaz Green's not going to make this football team. Let's see here. My Cowboys family says Jalen, baby. Yeah, Jalen Smith is showing out. And I've always been very pessimistic on Jalen from a standpoint of, there is no precedent for people returning from this injury and playing in the NFL, let alone being productive players. And I think last year was an indication of, let's slow the brakes a little bit. I mean, the Cowboys were exploited because of Jalen Smith last year. Well, I mean, the way he's moving, I thought the most impressive play that he made in last week's preseason game was he was with John Ross step for step down the field. It was unbelievable. John Ross, he's the guy that broke Chris Johnson's 40 time at the Combine. John Ross with the 4.22 40. Jalen Smith was down the field. A 30-yard pass play, which the cameras didn't catch. I went back and watched the game again, and the cameras completely missed it because of a power outage because of the ridiculous rain that they had at Arlington at the game. We had at the game. It was a 30-yard pass play to John Ross, and Jalen Smith was with this dude step for step. A 4.22 guy down the field. It was insane. My Cowboys family says Fleming, Looney, Edwards, Mama. No, I think the guys that are locked to make this team are the starting 5, Looney and Fleming. Those guys are locks. There's your 7 locks along the offensive line. I think they either keep Edwards or shop elsewhere. If they want to keep more than 8, they'll keep Edwards and shop elsewhere. If they keep 8, it's either Edwards or somebody else. If they keep 9, it's Edwards and somebody else. But I mean, anybody else is probably not going to make this team. Jalen tackled that tight end on 3rd down like a bear, just throwing him like a rag doll. Yeah, that was impressive too. I mean, he just continues to make a lot of impressive plays. David Short says, all the hammy and groin issues, so much for yoga. Yeah, but I will say this, and we've heard some of this too, that some of these injuries, like Tavon Austin would be playing if they were playing a game. Cole Beasley would be playing if they're playing a game. So I think in some ways they're being ultra cautious when it comes to these soft tissue injuries. Let's see here. Just kind of checking out all the pages we're broadcasting on. I'll do this for a few more minutes, but just want to make sure I get everybody's questions in. And a reminder, if you like what we're doing here at Phantom, bringing you onto the field kind of at the Star in Frisco, answering your questions, make sure to support Phantom. Like our page, facebook.com/Watch Phantom. Also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, Watch Phantom. And also make sure to hit up our sponsor, SeatGeeks, one of our sponsors. If you want to go see the Cowboys and Cardinals this Sunday night, go to SeatGeek.com. Use promo code Phantom. I know I saw they had really good 300-level seats. I saw seats 3rd row in the 300 level for Sunday night's game. It's the dress rehearsal of the preseason. If there's any preseason game that you want to go to, it's the 3rd preseason game. So I saw 300-level 3rd row seats for $60 a piece, $120. You go to SeatGeek.com, you find those seats, use promo code Phantom, you get $20 off your first order. So now that's $100 for those tickets. That's a pretty good deal for great seats at AT&T Stadium. So Support our sponsors. Support what we're doing here at Phantom. Go check out SeatGeek at SeatGeek.com. And again, make sure to use promo code Phantom, F-A-N-T-O-M, and get $20 off your first order. Let's see here. On the Silver and Blue Nation page, what do we got? Leonard Moore says defense is lights out so far this year. I mean, yeah, their defense has played well in training camp. No doubt about that. Specifically their front seven, but I also have been very impressed with their corners, who played a lot better in week 2 of the preseason than they did in week 1. Glenn Justice says, but the backups need work. The Bengals shredded our backups. Sure. But, I mean, you're talking about third, fourth stringers. I mean, the truth, Glenn, is in week 1 against San Francisco, and week 2 against the Bengals, the game was decided by guys that are going to be selling insurance in a few weeks. For both sides, Cowboys and Bengals. So, I mean, you could say they need work. I mean, it's talking about third and fourth stringers, guys that aren't going to make this football team. Joe Thomas has been balling too. He will take LVE spot. I would hope not. No, Joe Thomas has had a great camp. He's looked good. He's been impressive, no question. Their linebacking core, to me, their offensive line is the best positional group on the team by far. But their linebacking core has been second. And especially when you talk about a team, a group that's been sort of disappointing. Ricky Starbreed says, what's up with Noah Brown? He's injured, and he's probably not going to make this football team. That's what's up with him. Mark Bereski says, fans here in California. What up, Mark? How's it going, man? Checking back in on the Phantom page, facebook.com/watch Phantom. Thanks for everybody for following along. Thanks for being a part of tonight's broadcast. Let's see here. Eric Koscielny says, see you tomorrow, Ari. You just telling us the same stuff you told us at noon. Hopefully you'll have new stuff tomorrow. That's not true. I gave you Lance Lador updates. Practice. I told you Cheeto had a nice play. Don't shortchange me, bro. Sean Moore says, I just hope Chaz Green doesn't get someone hurt in these last 2 preseason games. It's a fair point. Laban says, what up? What up, Laban? Sean Mora also says, Zeke out of the backfield, catch the ball is going to be fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Probably could have added 4 or 5 more fire emojis in there because I agree with you. And that's the thing. Like when you look at some of the advanced analytics, especially the predictive stats, the ones that tell you like which plays are prone to being more successful in different situations, like passing to your running back is one of the most productive plays, especially on early downs. Long story short, the Cowboys need to have a more productive passing game with their running backs, and we've seen that so far in camp. So, Sean, once again, you're absolutely correct, my friend. Laban says, Laban or Laban? And by the way, Chris Bennett already pointed that out, that Jaron Johnson's wearing number 29. I did see that. I thought Earl Thomas was at training camp today when I was watching practice. That was another, Eric, don't shortchange me. I gave you a Jaron Johnson update. He's wearing number 29. There you go. What did LeBron say? So what are we going to do when all our backup quarterbacks get hurt with those bad backup O-line play? I don't know. You bring in other backup quarterbacks. Maybe trade for Teddy Bridgewater. I wouldn't worry too much about backup O-line play. We're talking about guys that are going to be selling insurance in a few weeks. G. Garcia says, you think Garrett has Jalen blitzing more? Absolutely. Tyler Cutright, my buddy, says, I think I'd rather have a healthy Noah Brown and Lenore over Thompson. Interesting. Why the anti-Thompson sentiment? I like DeAndre Thompson. He's a good player. My Cowboys family says, Ari, you think we need a veteran quarterback like Bridgewater? I wrote about that. To me, was Sturm already cut? Did they cut guys? Did they cut Sturm to add Johnson? They might have. Yeah, I mean, he was right. It's exactly right. He was a quarterback camp arm. I mean, he wasn't even that good at UTSA. So what's that saying? Sorry to my UTSA friends. Look, as far as Teddy Bridgewater, to me, it comes down to the cost. Jets aren't going to keep 3 quarterbacks. So what are you giving up to get Teddy Bridgewater? You giving up a 5th-round pick? Yeah, maybe. A 4th-round pick? Probably not, because he's about to be a free agent. And, I haven't liked what I've seen from Cooper Rush in training camp so far. I wrote an article about this for 105 Through the Fan. based on what we've seen so far in training camp and in the preseason from Cooper Rush and Mike White, I mean, you certainly need to start looking outside the organization for somebody else, especially a veteran like a Teddy Bridgewater. But again, to me, it comes down to the price. And no, I'm not giving up a second rounder for Teddy Bridgewater. What are you, crazy? He's going to be released. They have Darnold and McCown. Those are the two that are going to make the team. So unless they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks in Bridgewater, he's going to be their third stringer, which I don't think they do. They're going to end up releasing him. No way a second-round pick for Bridgewater. Say Prime Time says, go get Earl Thomas. Dak is our franchise. Well, my Cowboys family, you're saying they want too high of a draft pick? Seattle or New York? I mean, I'd give up a second for Earl Thomas today if that gets the deal done. No questions asked. I'd give up a second today for Earl Thomas if that gets the deal done. All right, thank you all for being a part of tonight's stream. Appreciate you all. My Cowboys family, keep up the great work, man. I'm going to keep checking out your streams. Make sure to go over to our YouTube page, Facebook at Phantom, and subscribe there. Not just my Cowboys family, but everybody watching. Thank you to all the usual suspects in the house for helping keep this stream afloat with your comments, with your sharing, with your generosity. So thank you all for being a part of tonight's stream. Again, I'm Ari Temkin from 105 Through the Fan, part of the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. I host the pre- and post-game show. And I'll be broadcasting again tomorrow, as I do every day, for Showtime, starting at noon Central right here, wherever you're watching. I'll be right back here tomorrow, but more specifically across